Star Wars has had its fair share of emotional deaths. Jin and Cassian embracing as the Death Star explodes the entire planet they're on. Qui-Gon getting skewered like a kebab by Darth Maul. Padme dying because she just lost the will to live, which is apparently a diagnosable condition in the Star Wars universe. Darth Maul getting cut in half by Obi-Wan, but then coming back alive and then eventually dying again. With so many iconic and powerful deaths in Star Wars, it made me wonder. Sure, all we remember are the heroes that went out in a blaze of glory, but what about the ones who didn't? The ones who died quietly, sometimes instantly, and mostly because the story had no more use for them. The ones who gave their lives, and occasionally their dignity, for the plot, the runtime, or just because George Lucas said, yeah, just kill that character off. Today, I'm giving them the praise, the reverence, the unnecessary but deserved tribute that the movies they were in never gave them. Were they beloved? Not really. Were they essential? Definitely not. But did they die in a way that made us stop and say, wow, who was that guy again? Here are the 10 saddest, most moving deaths in Star Wars you definitely forgot about. Let's get into it. At number 10, Phasma. Ah, yes. Remember her? I mean, neither does the plot, I guess. She looked like a shiny, chrome plated threat, and then she fell into a pit. She didn't die once, but twice. Kind of like someone else I know, actually.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
She had the emotional depth of a toaster and the tactical skill of a GPS that hasn't been updated in 20 years. Remember when she did something to help the plot move forward? Yeah, neither do I. She was truly a loss to the Disney merchandising department and the trilogy as a whole. Rest in peace. At number 9, we got none other than Rose's probably lesbian sister, Paige Tico. Another goated character in the sequel trilogy. Probably my favorite one, actually. She sacrificed her life to drop a bunch of bombs on a ship that was already gonna explode. Her death was so meaningful that we barely had time to know her name before we lost her. Truly, the galaxy's greatest unsung hero, only for 10 minutes of screen time. But don't worry, she got a sweet slow mo action shot of herself dramatically kicking a ladder over and over and over again. So it was definitely worth it. Shout out Paige Tico. Gone too soon. Coming in at number 8, we got none other than Jango Fett, the literal template for the entire clone army. He gets introduced as a badass bounty hunter, fights off Obi-Wan just to get decapitated by Jedi Samuel Jackson and a purple lightsaber. Didn't really put up a fight, didn't really use any of his gadgets at all. Just kind of ran at him, shot twice, and then got beheaded. But remember this, audience. If it wasn't for his tragic death, we would have never gotten Boba Fett following in his dad's footsteps, which eventually led us to the masterpiece that is the Book of Boba.
You serious?
Still waiting on season 2. Where is it? Come on, Disney. What a show. Anyways, shout out Jango Fett. On to the next. Rest in peace to our guy, my boy, the hero of Return of the Jedi, Ewok 25. Or that one Ewok. We'll call him Ewok 25 for fun. There he was, just living, Livin, his fuzzy little life in the forest, tossing rocks at fascists and shit. And then, just like that, he gets obliterated. I mean, life comes at you fast, especially if you're an Ewok who is throwing rocks at the Empire. No name, no funeral, just a depressing, slow pan of his buddy trying to wake him up, even though we know he is passed on. You will be missed, Ewok 25. Man, oh man. Remember Kit Fisto in the Clone Wars? Bro was a complete dog and absolutely shredded. He had a massive smile, big muscles, and BDE. Bro walked into Palpatine's office with Jedi Nick Fury, and we were probably all thinking he was gonna die, but offer some backup and a good fight to help Mace Windu and beat Palpatine. But nah, it gets put in a body bag 10 seconds into the fight. Bro probably saw Palpatine's double jackknife and lost all will to live. He had a cool name, cool tentacle hair, and zero survival instincts. Died as he lived, looking optimistic in a situation where he was not going to go far. Shout out Kid Fisto. You remember Isla Secura? Yeah, I didn't either. But I do remember this one clip during Order 66. Yeah, she's the one who the stormtroopers shoot about 20,000 times. She didn't even get a line, but everything about this scene was entirely unnecessarily amazing. The fall, the clone troopers just unloading an entire clip into her, the fact that she was blue. Justice for the Jedi who got yeeted without dignity and without a single line. Rest in peace. Shout out all the Tusken Raiders, man. They really picked the wrong mother to kidnap. Anakin wiped out the entire village because he was just having a bad day. The men, the women, the children, all of them. But don't worry, we got this iconic line and monologue because of their deaths.
And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too.
So it makes it all okay. A proper reason worth dying for. Definitely sad, and totally not a red flag that the Jedi just ignored. The mustache, the massive BDE, the 3 total lines of dialogue. When I was a kid, I remember thinking, wow, this guy's best friends with Luke Skywalker and he's got a bitchin' mustache. What a total stud. Then he gets cooked about halfway into the trench run fight, and I instantly forget about him after that. Bro shows up just in time to die in Luke's arms and makes us pretend they were best friends. George really said, quick, insert a friendship we never established, so this death feels meaningful, and then moves the hell on. He died so Luke could look slightly sad for 2 seconds before blowing up the Death Star. Worth. And that's why we will never forget him. I mean, he's gotta go number 2. Plo Koon. Cool mask. Respectable general. Brought Ahsoka into the Jedi Order. And then just dies like a background NPC. One thing you know, he's flying through the sky, and you blink and he's just falling through the clouds in a fiery ball of sadness. No last words, no memorial, just goodbye, masked dude. I will miss you. Shout out Plo Koon. Justice for my hero Plo Koon, such a badass general that really deserved better. Oh well. And finally, the GOAT, the legend, the man who jumped into Count Dooku's suite like he had the biggest hog in the galaxy. He got absolutely deleted by Jango Fett in the middle of a very public Jedi versus droid brawl. Did he block? No. Duck? Not really. Just kind of stood there while Jango Fett shot him 4 or 5 times before falling from Dooku's sweet box. Gone in 4 seconds, but forever in our hearts. He's the perfect symbol of Star Wars tragic heroes. Brave, sometimes clueless, and forgotten 10 seconds later. His death is so brief and pointless, it might be the saddest thing in the entire galaxy. So, take a drink to the guy who gave everything for about 2 seconds of screen time. Shout out the GOAT, Coleman Traber. You will be missed, and I will never forget you. So there you have it, my guys. My top 10 saddest, heart-wrenching deaths in the Star Wars universe. Next time you make a toast, think of one of these legends who died without anybody knowing or giving 2 cents about them. Because I will, and you should too. As always, do you agree? Disagree? Let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. And who knows? Maybe they aren't all dead for sure. Maybe they'll make a resurrection at some point because, well, you know who did.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Peace out, guys.